Why a high value feminine woman does not care what others think of her. Are you caring about the opinions of people? Hi, I'm Edwina, your exclusive dating to marriage coach. How has everything been? We're now talking about the opinions of men and how they affect you. Whether we like it or not, insecurities come up in us. Yesterday, last week, last month. But what am I trying to say? Insecurities are apparent. They're in us. And sometimes it can come from what someone has said, what people think of us, or the opinions of people that we care about. And today I really wanted to talk about why we should stop letting the opinions of men dictate our life. Today I had a coaching call with a client, and I've noticed a common thread where the inner thoughts of what will people think of me, what would people say about me, and the opinions. And some of them were like, I'm starting to date a new type of man, what do people think? Or the relationship has ended, what do people think? I don't want them to think this of me because the relationship has ended. I'm going for a different type of job, and not many people are saluting me or cheering me on to take this particular type of job, or I want to go for a pay rise, or downgrade my pay for self-fulfillment and happiness. And the common thread in all of these was the insecurities that these clients had and the opinions that others had of them. And I had to take them back to the questions of why do these opinions matter? And you see, traumas from our past, certain incidents have happened from our past, relationship or situations always seem to kind of come up at certain moments of our time. Even family background and how we were brought up, and things that mummy said, daddy said, sisters said, brothers said, didn't say. These things come up and they flare up in our insecurities. And guess what? Every single person has an insecurity. It doesn't matter if they're the prime minister, they're the queen, they're you, or they're me. But what do we do with these insecurities? And this is why today I wanted us to talk about them. Now, insecurities can stop us going for our dream job, can stop us going for our dream man, from going across the world and, setting up home, or taking a job that's miles away from home, or accepting the proposal or the advancement of a man who's been pursuing us because we may not even think that we're good enough for them, because they may be high caliber or not what we're used to. And there are many more. But what insecurities are stopping some of your goals this year? Some of your love challenges or your love advancements this year? I want you to think about that for this moment. One of the main things that insecurity does is it makes us not feel good about ourselves. Negative thoughts, negative chatter, and we start to beat down on ourselves and criticize ourselves, and then we get into this whirlwind spin and we don't want to do something, or we procrastinate, or we avoid doing something. But a misconception of this is being perfect. I'm not perfect enough if the relationship ended. I'm not perfect enough if the business didn't go well. I'm not perfect enough if this date didn't enter X, Y, Z, or where I thought it would be, or this. And I'm talking about this perfectionism. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. And everybody has imperfections. It's how we deal with them. And what common lie we think is that we must not tell ourselves the truth or face the truths head on. And we either avoid some of these things, put our head in the sand, or we kind of pretend like we're all okay and get to the other side, which is pride and arrogance, and I'm okay. I don't care what people think. And we brush over the surface. And these are some of the things that I want to discuss. Number one, let us embrace that we're not good at everything. I'm not good at everything. You're not good at everything. Life is going to be so boring if you are. I'm not a very good, let me give an example. I'm not very good at finances and budgeting, but I have to be. Now that I have a family, I gotta make the money work. What are you not good at? Do you know how freeing it is to be able to say, I am not good at everything, but whatever I put my mind to do, my hands to do, my heart to do, I'm going to make sure that I do it with the best intentions. I'm not going for perfectionism in everything that I'm doing. I'm going for mastery. So if I'm not good at budgeting, I'm going to be researching, asking around, asking for advice, asking for help so that I can achieve confidence in budgeting and finances so that this area becomes mastery and I become more confident at it. Why? Because I don't want my home to be in a wreck because I don't know how to handle my relationships with money. Okay? Now, what is it that you have to tell yourself that you're not good at? Is it writing? Is it talking? Is it business systems or strategy or going out on dates or talking to men or, talking to men about your needs? What is it? Identify it. The first thing is identifying what you're not good at. The second thing is accepting what you're not good at. And the third thing is finding mastery in what you're not good at. Number 2, use your insecurity or your flaws as an advantage. Did you know that laughter is so powerful? It's not just funny when there's a joke happening. Sometimes we have to laugh at ourselves. We just need to take a chill pill. I'm not good at budgeting. It just takes a bit of the emphasis off. I could tell it to my friends and, they'll be like, hey, don't buy that new dress because you're not good at budgeting. And they can be helpful to help me to remember, oh yes, I need to work on that area. With your flaws and your insecurities, the more you talk about it and the less it's hidden, the more it loses its power. And we're talking about getting our power back. So a lot of the people that have been successful, they would have a story around something that happened to them. And one of mine was breaking out of perfectionism. Something happened in my life, and especially when I got pregnant, a lot of the insecurities that kind of came up with me. Oh my God, I've put on weight. I don't look attractive anymore. Oh my gosh, what are people going to think because it's happened at this time and this, etc., etc. All these opinions of men. What would this person think? And oh my goodness. And I had to just shut those voices down. I had to shut the voices down from my family. I had to shut the voices down that came from my own thoughts. I had to shut the voices down of the opinions of men. At the end of the day, I'm the one in the relationship. This child decided to come at this time. Who am I to tell God and say, hey, God, why did you do this? I have to turn it around to an advantage. And I had to embrace this beautiful daughter of mine, who is such a joy. She's like 3 or 4 people rolled into one. And the experience even of being pregnant brought up a lot of insecurities because I've never been a mum before. I've taught kids before, but they're other people's kids. This is your own child. You're with the child 24 hours a day. You don't even get a break sometimes. And I had to ask parents, I had to ask people that had children and were living with children, advice. I had to humble myself by asking these questions. And in this time of insecurity, I had to then start making my own decisions for my child, because this is my child. In the time of insecurity and flaws, when you're sharing them with others, there comes a fine line between how much they tell us and what they tell us, and then we need to take the charge of how we deal with those flaws. So sometimes you could be in a situation where you're dating maybe a divorced man. You're dating a man who has kids, and your family members are saying, don't date them, they're not good, or why are you, etc., etc. If you believe that this is for you, go for it. But make sure you do the vetting, and there's videos previously on the channel that discusses that. And also make sure that the opinions of men are not stirring your happiness. anything that comes to start destroying your happiness, you have to start really thinking about, and you have to stop. So use your flaws as an advantage. And here I am now talking to many of you about breaking perfectionism and not being perfect. You don't have to be perfect. The amount of laughs and joys and growth that's happened to me in this span of few years since my daughter and hubby and life's changes, I have grown, and I want you to grow. And sometimes we have to laugh about the situations just to let the seriousness of it just calm down. And then for us to work on it with mastery and with solutions and with strategies, so that when we share our story, other people can see that they can also break free of it. And also remember, sometimes your flaws and insecurities are something that other people are also going through at the same time.
Guys you don't want you. And the ones you don't want simply won't leave you alone. They say you are picky and have impossible standards. Your partner has lost attraction for you, and you have no idea if he will stay or progress the relationship. The harder you try, the further he pulls away. You are starting to think you are cursed, that there's something fundamentally wrong with you. The truth is, you are not uniquely broken. You're simply ill-informed, uneducated, and ill-equipped. All the things that can be fixed. I am offering you an all-access pass into the Black Swan Nation, where you will receive access to all of the courses, mentoring and coaching calls. We are also offering a 100% no quibble money back guarantee if the academy isn't a fit for you. What are you waiting for? Get smart, be educated, and level up. Do it absolutely right now by clicking the link below.
Point number 3, take on new challenges. I don't know how important this is. When I was single, when there was no hubby and there was no babies, I would jet across the world and go and work abroad and say bye-bye to the family and things like that. I would go on exciting holidays, and sometimes by myself, sometimes with the girls. I was always finding some piece of adventure, something that would just fuel, I should say, my love for excitement and thrill and fun, and I still do that, but in a different way. What new challenge have you taken on or will take on this season of your life that will not only knock insecurity on the head, but will help you grow into the person that you're called to be? Could be starting a new business, making a new product, talking to people that you've not spoken to before, starting a new group, pursuing something from your childhood that you've not taken up for a while. Why? You've got to push your comfort zone. In pushing your comfort zone, in breaking out of the box, as I like to say, you find that on the other side of insecurity is excitement. And sometimes we have to flip it on the head. It could also be in the dating and relationship, really just evaluating yourself and how you date in a different area, or a different type of man, or in a different way. Because once your insecurities start to drop off, your confidence level increase. As your confidence levels increase, it also affects the type of man that you attract and the type of jobs and opportunities that come to you. Now, not everything is about love, but you've got to love what you're doing. You've got to love yourself. And the more you love yourself, and the more you love your life, and the more you love what you're doing, that will translate into the love relationship that you attract. Even if he is not in his best mood, your love tank will be so high that it will affect him or the people around you or those that you're dating. So I want you to accept new challenges, whatever that may be for you. Now, many of us may try and run away from being rejected. Sorry, Black Swan. Sorry, sister. Sorry, even mister, if you're watching right now. There's going to be a time where we're going to get rejected and we're going to hear a no. Okay? But guess what? After that no will be a yes. And as we're talking about love let's find the people that will say yes to us. And let's pursue the relationships for those people that will accept us and love us for who we are. Sometimes we may say, oh my goodness, I'm not good at this. I'm not even going to bother try. Why don't we just say that I'm going to try and I'm open to new experiences, whatever they may be, failure or success, and I'll learn from them. Why are we going to say we're not going to try something because we're not good at it or it seems hard while there's an experience for growth on the other side? And we can sometimes also say, this never happens to me. This will never happen to me. And why don't we change that to, it's about time it happens to me. It's my time. And these are all different frames of mindsets that we can carry. Now, people are going to talk about you regardless. Whether you're doing something good, whether you're doing something not so good. Whether your makeup is good, your hair is good, whether it's not. Whether you're the queen, whether you're Meghan, whether you're Prince, whoever, they're going to talk about you. So let's have a game plan. Let us give people something to talk about this year. Okay? Let us give people something to say that those flaws and insecurities and maybe those bad misfortunes or things that happen to you, or the good things that happen to you are even better. Where they left you is not where they now find you. Those trials have now become triumphs. Those tests have now become testimonies. And those mess has now become messages. Give them something to talk about. What are you going to give people to talk about? Listen, I am in the shock factor at the moment. So where you saw me last year, when you see me again, you'll be like, what? This has happened? When? How? How did it happen? That's how life should be. Mysterious lady. If we're talking about creating mystery, these are some of the things that we should be working on. So don't let the opinions of men disturb you. Let them talk, but give them something to talk about. Okay? Even if they do talk, use those flaws as your advantage. Take on new challenges. If people are gossiping and saying this, or why isn't this happened? Why hasn't one of the things that happened to, why hasn't the man come? And why hasn't this happened? And why? I'm like, don't worry, it will come at the right time. And when it came, it was like this. And that's how it should be for you. Why? Because I said life has to give me what it owes me. And life should give it what it owes you, but only if you go for it. Only if you face head on your insecurities. And that's something that I did. I made sure that the insecurities, shame, insecurities, doubt, fear, embarrassment, being ashamed, even one point of being ashamed of being single, I had to deal with that. But there's moments when I miss being single. Don't get me wrong. So these things we need to deal with, and we need to laugh it off. Because if it has no power with me, it will have no power with somebody else. Somebody else can laugh and say, oh my goodness, you're still single? Ha 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 ha. And it affects me because I've allowed it to, and I haven't destroyed the factor of the pain that it has and was causing me. So when someone says that, I'm like, ha ha ha, yeah, I'm enjoying my free time and I'm enjoying it until the man comes. That person will now, because whatever they try to do by saying that point no longer has power. So take your power back. The voices in your mind have to be challenged. They have to be changed. They have to be, how can I put it? Transformed. And this is why talking to a coach or talking to somebody will help you. It's a season to frame your thoughts. It's a season to change your life and your story. So a high value feminine woman, always make sure she's vulnerable. Find somebody you can be vulnerable with who can help you to unpack the insecurities and the flaws and things that you need to work on, so that they become your triumphs, so that they become something you overcome, so that not only Your persona, but your spirit, your mind, your body, your soul, your life now changes, because the opinions of man do not dictate your life, and they do not bring you down, they do not destroy your happiness, and they do not stop you from being who you're called to be. So there is a song that says "This Is Me," so I'll let that song play. If I don't want it, I'll take it out, etc., etc. So, as you've heard from that song, do not let the thoughts and opinions of man imprison you. I want you to think about it. Every time you let somebody else's thoughts be higher than yours and God's, you put yourself in prison. Break out of that. Come under that today. So I just want to say, see you next week on Talking Through Tuesdays.